So what is reality? What is myth? Are our memories really our memories, or are they just a fabrication of what we perceive them to be? Is this really truly a real reality? Or is it all just kind of a construct? Hi, this is Captain Anime 92 here with another anime review of an anime I just watched recently called Surreal Experiments Lain. Now, let's get right down to it. So, it's a very complex anime. It kind of dwells with the idea about a cyberspace, a whole other world outside our own that exists, that is just a construct of different signals of like computers, phones, all meshed together to create an overall like big network. And this story falls around a very shy, socially awkward middle schooler named Lain, who, over the course of the show, as she learns more about the wire, which is what is considered their internet in this show, she becomes more attached and she starts to lose her perception as far as reality, and other people are seeing her and saying that she's different than how she actually is. It's a very quite a layered show. It's only 13 episodes long, but for the amount of time it gives you, it's very deep, pretty philosophical. The idea of whether there is or is not a god, that there's a god exist within this world called the Wired, or is it just a bunch of like people's subconsciousness, just kind of layered on top? In a sense, you kind of can call Lain a god in herself, because she learns about the Wired and she able to go inside it and become one with it and learn to manipulate it. And as she's continuing to interact with the Wired, the defining line between the Wire and reality just starts to bend and snap as they kind of merge into one. And you see her personality alternating, changing throughout the show as you go on, from this timid, shy girl to this very vocal, loud, brass person. And you think maybe at one point it's all in her head, because as the show begins, it's all like this imagery, like smoke from her fingers, or how it pays attention to the power lines and all the different things she sees as far as people looking like there's like thin veils of themselves, almost like kind of like everything she's seeing is like one big grand illusion. The whole show starts with one of her classmates that commits suicide and becomes part of the Wire, and she sends a mass email to everyone, and she tells Lain that which when she gets email, she tells her it's better here, that it's better to be here in this world, the idea that it's okay to not have a physical body. But as reality's bending, Lain is questioning as to whether if she's real or she's not real, is she really there? And she meets these group of agents that tell her that of the same nature, that she finds out that she quite isn't normal. She's told that she's just a program, meant to just solely exist, and what she finds out later to break the boundaries between the Wired and the real world, and that she's always existed inside the Wired, and because she's well known, everyone knows her, including these group called the Knights, these radical group of hackers, which she believed they created what everyone else perceived to be Lain, this Lain that people keep seeing in all these places, that's doing and saying all these things. And even after, so when the Knights are taken care of, it appears to be that Lain is still just not like a construct. She's a program. And there really isn't so much a god, honestly. but if you can look at it, I guess she is considered God because she's kind of the forefront of everything. She can alter and manipulate reality, and she feels like no matter how hard she tries to fix things between herself and the people she cares about, she keeps making things worse. So she's trying to find where she fits in the world, and in the end, does she feel like she is a human being, a person, with a body and a heart, or is she just some sort of program? I like the show. It's very, very deep. Um, it's kind of a tough nut to crack. A lot of imagery, a lot of like text, subliminal text throughout the show, and it kind of cuts away at certain points. Like there's a whole episode where they're kind of explaining the nature behind the Wired and the history behind it, how it came to be, and the people that come to influence it. And it's actually showing you like real historical footage, and it's a very abstract show. I did like it. It was a little disturbing, a little unnerving, and it kind of felt kind of real. Because I think the point of the show was they made the nod of the addiction of to the internet or like electronics in general, that if you spend enough time, eventually you lose yourself and kind of what is reality and what isn't. And there's kind of like a fine line, a dangerous line between the two, or at some point tends to break. I don't want to really give too much of the show. It's kind of a hard show to explain. It's one of those that you definitely need to kind of see it to understand it kind of things. I like to call one of these kinds of shows, I call it the Donnie Darko effect, only because, such as the movie, I feel like it's one of those shows that it needs multiple viewings in order to fully get a real good grasp on it. But I like that it's very 90s, very retro because it came out in 1998. And the intro, love the intro. Definitely reminiscent of one of my favorite 90s bands, the Cranberries, which I thought was actually pretty cool. And yeah, I might probably watch it again just to see if I fully understand what I saw. Like I said, it's not one of those shows easily able to explain, other than it just kind of, the whole nature of the show questions as to what is real, what isn't, is there a God, are we all real, or are we all just made up, are we all just pieces of programs kind of floating in there in this big vast place we call the world. And that's kind of, I guess, the idea that's drawn from it in the nutshell. That's kind of the whole concept, overall concept of this show. And so I guess it's kind of like more like a little overview about how I feel about it. I give it an 8 out of 10 for my own personal enjoyment. I kind of had to pause it off and on to kind of fully get what I was going through, what I was seeing. But yeah, if you like psychological sci-fi horror like genre shows that really make you think, really make you ponder, this is definitely a really good show to look at. And I know I said I was going to do a video on Friday. It does have to be Saturday, but you know what? Better late than never, right? And anyway, without further ado, that's it. So thank you for joining me once again for another anime review. Once again, if you like my channel, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends. Look forward to next Wednesday when I'm going to be doing another anime movie review. And you all guys stay safe. Peace.